today we're hearing. Okay. So I'm gonna stop this real quick. I felt like I was just jumping the gun when I was about to make this video. I feel like earlier, like a couple weeks ago or so. But I was right to think so. So now, because now I'm hearing about how the new Neo Disney Rangers, they're starting to hand out the old power coins. So first things first, there is going to be Peyton Elizabeth Lee, who is in talks to receive a Red Ranger power coin. There is also in addition to that, there's also going to be Joel Oulette, who is looking for, I think, either the black or the blue ranger. And then there's also Momona Tamada, who is looking to get a Pink Ranger power coin. So there's no telling like Yellow Ranger or Black Ranger at the moment, so there's definitely that. I'm getting sort of a deja vu from like the 2017 movie where there's a suspected like whether the character's name going to be or they're going to be based on the original. The OG team, Jason, Billy, Zach, Trini, Kimberly, Emily, and eventually Tommy, if they ever touch on that. There's that, and then I remember back when the 2017 movie, they're going to have completely different names, and it's also possible that, it is also possible that they're going to stick with the OG names or have some different names going on with them, or they just take those other names as a placeholder to decide what to do. It's like, because that is definitely the question of what's going on. That is the question of what's going on with Pirates exactly, because they're keeping it kind of tight. But yeah, this is really cool. Well, yeah, this is pretty cool. This is going to be kind of an iffy video for me to make because I wanted to wait before there was more information that was out before I actually decided to just make a video. It was really tough, but at the same time, I'm just like, okay. Now I'm hearing about some people who are being casted as Rangers. Now all of them are in final talks. There's a strong belief that these three will now be the new Rangers. But there's been a special attention to like the Red Ranger. Unfortunately, it's like, can we not, dude? First of all, okay. First of all, it's hard to say that this is going to be a Mighty Morphin reboot. I'm just unsure. I mean, I just got my power coins and my Morphers for kind of a sort of a prop deal. But yes, there's no telling if this is a MMPR, if it's going to be a reboot MMPR. Now, that's going to, because I've said this for years, and I've said this for years. Most people, when they talk about Power Rangers, talking about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now, and yeah, that is true. But again, in Mighty Morphin, and I've also said that Power Rangers has this issue with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers basically holding it hostage. I mean, again, I brought out my Morphers just like I used the coins as a prop. Also because it's a STEM toy. But at the same time, that is definitely that part of it definitely rings true. Because like again, I'm going to talk about this just a little bit. I'm getting into it a little bit more, but for many people, they're all Mighty Morphin was probably the only season they ever watched. They never watched Zeo, Turbo, Lost Galaxy, etc., etc. So that frame of reference of Mighty Morphin is going to be there when they get that kind of knee-jerk reaction to the news that there's going to be a Lady Red Ranger. When again, you got to look through again. Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers had been like the first 3 seasons, while there are 27 other more seasons of Power Rangers, including the fact that the last Red Ranger, this specific Red Ranger, was a girl. Oh. And then of course there's Lauren Sheba, who's in Power Rangers Samurai, and a huge player in the Power Rangers Prime comics. Definitely go read these. They're fantastic. Which I would hope they take a look at the Power Rangers Prime comics and see what they can pull from there. Heck, even any of the Power Rangers comics. There's that. And then there's also Charlie from SPD, and then there's also there's quite a bit, and there's also this. If you want to get into the weeds of it all, just take a look at how Power Rangers is always swapped out. And this is such the case for Gingerman and Guy Ranger, where both the Yellow Rangers on those series are both boys. If you want to talk about, hey, what about a male Pink Ranger? Look no further than Avatar Sentai Dawn Brothers, where in that season you get your very first male Pink Ranger, who's the tall boy. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun, which is really cool. Heck, you want to take it even a step further, just remember in the comics how they did the power swap, and it was always pretty cool. It's where Rita had went to go get her hands on the Dragon Zord coin and had pulled the Rangers into a vortex, where she was going to head out to try to get the Dragon coin, and while they had to fight aliens, in order while they're distracted while they get the power coin, the Rangers, that they get pulled through, they end up swapping powers, and also be able to read minds. This particular discourse just makes me think of back when 2017, when people were making a big stink about Billy and Zach and the 2017 Power Rangers being race-swapped characters, when in point of fact, Walter Jones has talked about how he has originally auditioned for Billy when he decided to be Zach instead. And biggest of all, in OG Power Rangers, the Yellow Ranger is in fact a dude, which is switched to balance out the Rangers as a whole, and to kind of also market the kind of Barbie-esque yellow and pink Ranger dolls to girls who were also interested in Power Rangers, but also wanted to keep the Barbie-like sensibilities that they tried to show. And even though there wasn't a sequel to the 2017 movie, there was already that speculation at the time that the Green Ranger, they were going to adapt the adaptation of Green Evil, and it was going to be female. To say that Power Rangers have been doing this sort of thing for a very, as in Super Sentai, I've been doing this kind of like this symbiotic relationship. I've been doing this for very, very many years in order to basically just draw into the audience of whoever wanted to enjoy it. Okay. And there was lots and lots of people all around the world. And, sure. But, so this isn't necessarily like this isn't necessarily like a new thing that they're doing. So, regardless of who is like, who is the Red Ranger or the Pink or the Blue Ranger, I think the main thing that does matter when it comes to a Disney Plus reboot of Power Rangers is the execution, not necessarily like who's the Rangers. And yeah, there could also be like corporate meddling to give it sort of like Poochie type situation where it's just like way too focus tested, and to make it seem like it's trying to be cool and hip. I can understand that. We don't know if this is going to be an MMPR reboot. We don't know if this is going to be all these other things. Is it going to be an original story, like say like on Power Rangers Prime, something like that, or it's going to because again, this isn't going to be an association with Toei that makes Super Sentai. They're not going to be touching on it anymore. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens next, even with these new developments. But all the things I said earlier at the top of the video and throughout the video, it's just all those different things you can't like. I don't know. It's just really hard to talk about sometimes. Like when you see this type of stuff, you just have to be you have to kind of get to the nitty gritty, the nougaty center of like when it comes to like Power Rangers. Because again, this is a very beloved franchise. There's a lot of love for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. There's a lot of love for all the other seasons of Power Rangers. Because again, if you want to really get into it, there are people who see Samurai as their Mighty Morphin, or Dino Thunder was their Mighty Morphin, and etc. etc. So yeah, it's just like things like that always come into play when it comes to Power Rangers. But yes, these new developments are really cool, and I think they're pretty dope. I think what's to come is pretty dope. I'm just glad we get the more Power Rangers too, because again, I could also talk about how you could also make an argument that we still have the Reignition collection, because this is just I love it so much. Sure, it's not the Legacy one, the Lightning collection version of the Morpher, but I love it, and it's been the cheapest retail price wise, so I'm very happy about it. In addition to that, yeah, they're getting even more Reignition coming up from what I'm hearing about the toy fair and stuff like that. We're definitely going to get that going, because there's definitely so much more that they probably have planned. So yeah, I don't think anyone has anything to truly fear. Not really to truly fear, because I'm gonna go back to what I said. It doesn't necessarily, it changes one thing, sure, but if you can execute it well, you can execute what you plan on well. Because I think there's like a leaked version of the synopsis out there. If you can, take that and execute it well, then I feel like people will give it a shot. I'm sure there are people gonna give it a shot and be very critical of it, very understandable. But at the same time, I'm just like of the thought that, yeah, let's just remember, let's just have. I'm just being cautiously optimistic, I suppose that's the best way I could say. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about these new developments in Power Rangers right now. And I just really wanted to I wanted to do a quick little thing to just I hope what I've talked about helps, like you understand. I really do. Uh, but yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn your post notifications on if I post a video. And I'll see you in the next one, because this is delicious. A peace.